Let us see one verse. First quality let us see today. Okay. Viveka. Please repeat. Brahma satyam jagan mithyetyevam rupo vinishchayah soyam nitya nitya vastu viveka samudahritaha. He says, Brahma satyam. Brahman is real. Jagat mithya. The world is unreal. Iti. Thus, evam rupaha, of this nature, vinishchayaha, firm determination, firm understanding. What is the understanding? Firm understanding that Brahman alone is real and the world is unreal. This firm understanding, saha ayam, that is here called as nitya, anitya, vastu viveka. This phrase we have seen earlier. The ability to distinguish between nitya, permanent, anitya, impermanent. What is that ability? That ability is firm understanding that Brahman alone is real and the world, everything other than that Brahman, is unreal. This is called as Viveka. Samudaritaha. Samudaritaha. This is how Viveka is well defined. Samyak udaritaha. Viveka is well defined as this Vinishchaya, this firm understanding that Brahman alone is Satya, real. Jagat, world is Mithya. Now, these two words Satya and Mithya need to be understood first. Satya we generally call it as truth. But when we are living in the world, very interestingly, we make this statement that there is nothing called as truth. Every single thing is a person's opinion. Have you come across such thing? That it is only your perspective, it is not truth. What exactly is the truth? We don't know. So we are not talking about the truth about the world, in the sense that really I went there and I did this, really I am speaking truth. We are not talking about that kind of truth. We are talking about the truth of everything. Truth of everything, the reality of everything. So in that context, when we are translating Satya as reality, not as truth, careful. We in Vedanta hear about three grades of reality. Sometimes they are called as Satta or called as Satya. Three grades of reality. Let us understand those first. What are the three grades? The first level of reality is called as Pratibhasika Satya or Pratibhasika Satta. Pratibhasika Satta means what? Seeming reality. Pratibhasika Satya, seeming reality. Second level of reality, higher than it, is called as Vyavaharika Satya, transactional reality. Vyavaharika Satya, second level of reality. And third, the final level of reality is called as Paramarthika Satya. Paramarthika Satya, absolute reality. Okay. So, three grades or levels of reality. What do you mean by three levels of reality? The first level will appear real only till the time I am in that level. The moment I reach level 2, you understand that the first level was not real. Then when we reach level 3, we understand the previous two were not real. Let us understand this. First level, Pratibhasika Satya, example is dream. When we are in dream, we think that the dream is real. Correct? Correct. Very real experiences. I am there and people are there and mountains are there and trees are there. Everything very real. It looks very real. But when you wake up, what happens to the dream? You say dream was unreal. How the reality status has changed? Because from the seeming reality, Now you have you have woken to transactional reality, the waking state that we all are now, where we are transacting with each other. So, according to this level of reality, the transactional level of reality, the seeming reality is unreal. And this transactional reality is now real. You understand? Another example also is there. What we speak of illusion, delusion, etc., all that comes in seeming reality. Our famous example that we have seen Shankaracharya explaining, rope misunderstood as snake. Now when I am seeing that snake is on the seeming reality, whereas rope is transactional reality. According to the reality of the rope, snake is unreal. Are you getting this point? Seeming reality, transactional reality. Now, higher than transactional reality is absolute reality. And that absolute reality, there is no example for it. There is only one thing which is absolutely real, and that is Brahman. That's why you see the sentence Brahma Satyam. Brahman is the absolute reality. Now, from that standpoint, what will then happen to the transactional reality? It will become unreal. Now, that word unreal is how we are taking it as mithya. Careful. The world which is transactional reality is real when we are in that world, when we are on that level. When we wake up to the higher level of reality, which is absolute reality, the transactional reality, the world becomes unreal, becomes mithya. Again, these terms, mithya, etc., Shankaracharya himself will be explaining. We will see at that time. Right now, what we have to understand, mithya means something that doesn't have independent existence. Snake doesn't have independent existence, it is dependent on rope. So, rope is real, snake is unreal. Rope is satya, snake is mithya. Similarly, world doesn't have independent existence, it is dependent for its existence on that Brahman, and therefore Brahman is absolute real and world is unreal, mithya. Careful. This understanding, firm understanding that Brahman alone is real, everything other than it, the world, is unreal. This firm understanding is called as Viveka, which is a prerequisite to walk this path. Now remember, as I told you, if this Viveka is there in us even a little bit, we can start on the path. But then we have to keep, growing. We have to keep increasing this Viveka in order to reach the destination. Getting it? That is one. Now, this Viveka, when we speak of this capacity to distinguish, capacity to discriminate, differentiate, this is not new to us. It is not alien to us. We do that. We do every day, we are doing. Even at this moment, you are doing. Some of you are thinking, now it is almost reaching 6:15. Should I continue the class or should I go? I can always watch on YouTube later on. Now what happens? Now your mind has got two options. Should I stay or should I go? Then between these two, you choose anyone. Some of you choose to stay, some of you choose to go. What are you doing? You are doing Viveka. Between the two things, you are picking one thing. But this is worldly Viveka. Worldly Viveka means what? You are choosing between two impermanent things. Should I take this watch or that watch? Both are impermanent. Should I watch this movie or that movie? Should I wear this sari or that sari? Both are impermanent. Therefore, this discrimination capacity to distinguish that we use in the world, we know how to use discrimination. But in the worldly perspective, we are using this faculty only to distinguish between two impermanent things. Whereas this Viveka that is spoken of here becomes a technical term which expresses an idea of discriminating the real Brahman from the unreal world. So, in the context of Vedanta, when we use the word Viveka, we are essentially talking about this discrimination. Discrimination of the reality from all that is unreal. Okay, that is what is Viveka we are talking about. Viveka is a technical term now. Now, some of you might have studied Tattvabodha, etc. There is a different definition of Viveka, not very different, it is similar to this, but there what Shankaracharya says, Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahma, Tad Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam, Ayameva Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. So, there he says, Nitya Vastu Ekam. There is only one permanent reality and that is Brahman. Tad Vyatiriktam, other than it, Sarvam Anityam, everything is impermanent. Now, here if you carefully look, the definition is little stronger. He is not just, Shankaracharya is not just using the word permanent and impermanent, he is using the word real and unreal. There is a slight difference between impermanent and unreal. Understand? Let us take example, we'll understand the point. The tea made by my wife or by my mother is impermanent. But the tea made by my daughter when she is playing that game house, she prepares, no, in that small cup, she will come and she will say, Daddy. Now that tea is unreal. This tea is impermanent. That tea is unreal. You understand the difference? Because when my daughter is giving, the tea is not there. I have to imagine. And I have to play a part and say that, oh, it's very hot. And then she will also say, please, don't drink like that. You know, drink slowly. I have to play the part, but I know there is no tea. Whereas the tea given by my wife or given by my mother is there, but is not permanent. Is not going to stay all the time. It will get over. So, in Tattvabodha, Shankaracharya says that the world is impermanent. World is there at the moment, but it is not going to stay forever. Whereas here, he says world is unreal. Even now, it is not really there. It is only appearing to be there. Why is he doing that? Because with such kind of understanding of the world, the next quality, Vairagya, will become easier. You have 2 cups of tea in your hand. One which is impermanent tea, one which is unreal tea. Which is the tea that you can easily give up? The unreal you can give up because it is not there. Whereas impermanent you will say, let me drink and then I will give up. You understand the difference? By saying that the world is not real, it becomes easy for us to give up. So, to prepare us for Vairagya, he is defining Viveka in this way, in this particular place, in Vivekachudamani. And therefore, I said that here, the definition of Viveka is little higher than the definition of Viveka in Tattvabodha. Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahma Tad Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam. Brahman is permanent, everything else is impermanent. Whereas here it is said, Brahman is real, world is unreal. Okay? This is the first quality of Viveka that we must possess. Now, homework for all of you. Not kind of homework where you have to write something. No. From today till the next session that we will have, keep your mind agile, ready to distinguish between, is this real or unreal? Is this permanent or impermanent? Am I distinguishing between two impermanent things, or am I distinguishing the permanent real thing from the impermanent unreal world? When the tea comes next time, whether it is given by your wife or your daughter, reflect whether it is real or unreal. We know it is impermanent, that we already know. Reflect whether it is real or unreal. Every single experience that you will be having, take a pause and reflect. Is this real or unreal? Okay, this is the homework. Till the time we meet again. Okay, then we will continue with Vairagya, Shama, etc. etc. The definitions that will follow. Let us go ahead and see the next quality. Vairagya, verse number 21. Tadvairagyam jihasaya darshana shravanadibhihi dehadi brahma paryante yanitte bhogavastuni. What is said? Shankaracharya says, Tatvairagyam. That is called as dispassion. Vairagya. Vairagya means viragasya bhavaha. Attitude of detachment. Vigata ragaha. Viragaha. Raga means attachment. Careful. Okay. Especially all the Maharashtrian people who understand Marathi. Special attention required. Raga in Sanskrit means attachment. In Marathi, raga means anger. This is exact opposite. Sanskrit, raga means like, attachment. Raga dvesha vishayana, like and dislike. So raga means the feeling that it is nice, I want it. This is mine. This is called as raga. Anuraga, sometimes also used. So, vigata raga, where that feeling of attachment is not there, that is called as viraga. Now that viragasya bhavaha, that state of detachment is called as vairagya. Vairagya. Vairagya means dispassion, state of detachment. Right? Tat vairagyam. What is that vairagya? Ya, that which is jihasa. Jihasa. Jihasa means what? Hatumichha jihasa. Desiderative. We have seen many words till now which are desideratives. Remember? Don't forget whatever we have seen in the previous classes. Bubhuksha, pipasa, mumuksha. Remember? All these are called as desideratives. Desideratives means the words that show desire. Jidnyasa, nyatumichha, a desire to know. Like here what is said, jihasa, hatumichha. Hatum means to give up. Ichha means desire. Desire to give up. Desire to give up is called as detachment. Carefully see. Desire to give up is called as detachment, he said. He said that feeling should be there, that I want to give this up. And what that feeling should be there in what? Bhogavastuni. Bhogavastuni jihasa. Yeah. Bhogavastuni means in the objects, vastu, of bhoga, pleasure. In the pleasurable objects which give me temporary kick, temporary pleasure, in all those objects, desire to give them up is called as detachment or dispassion. Why should I give up the why should I give up those things? Why? Because anitya, that he anitya becomes yanitya. You see, second last word, yanitya bhogavastuni is written. Yanitya means he means indeed. Anitya means that which is not nitya, that which is not permanent. Those bhoga vastus, those pleasurable objects are not permanent, and therefore I should give them up. How do you know that it is not permanent? Go one step back. Viveka. And therefore Vairagya comes after Viveka. In Viveka, I come to understand that Brahman alone is real, everything else is unreal, impermanent. And something that is impermanent, why should I have attachment towards it? Why should I have desire to gain it? So Vairagya means what? That attitude of detachment, dispassion. For what or in what? In those pleasurable objects which are impermanent. Dehadi Brahma Paryante Anitye, which are attained, these objects are attained from Dehadi Brahma Paryante, from this body till the Brahmaji's life. In every different life, in every different yoni, in every different birth, there will be different objects which are pleasurable. On the earth, we have different objects. In Swarga, in the heaven, there will be different pleasurable objects. Objects that will give me pleasure. Towards all of them, I have desire to give them up. I have dispassion towards it. That is called as Vairagya. And how do I experience or enjoy these objects? Darshana, Shravana, Adibihi. Darshana, seeing. Shravana, hearing. Pleasurable objects means what? That which is pleasurable to my eyes, that which is pleasurable to my ears, that which is pleasurable to my tongue. Oh, that is the most important, isn't it? In all these, desire to give up is called as Vairagya. So, again see the verse. Tad Vairagyam, that is called as detachment. What is that? Ya Jihasa, which is desire to give up. What? Anitye bhoga vastuni. Desire to give up in that impermanent pleasurable objects which are attained through bodies and births from here up to Brahmaji, and experienced how? Through perception, hearing, seeing, smelling, touching, tasting, etc. Through all these 5 sense organs, I am enjoying the objects of this world or of other worlds. Remember previously Shankaracharya said, Iha amutra phala bhoga viraga. Iha here, amutra somewhere else. In different worlds, different objects will be there. Towards all of them, I have feeling that I don't want them. This is called as Vairagya. Now, why this feeling is required? Why this feeling is important? Because, you see, till the time we hold on to something lower, we cannot gain something that is higher. Isn't it? Must have seen in the, the ladder, when we are, climbing the ladder, you have to give up the lower step, then only you can go to the next step, isn't it? Suppose you say that, no, I don't want to give this up, but I want that next step. It is not possible. Unless I give up something lower, I will not be able to take something that is higher. Brahman is higher because it is real. The entire world is lower because it is unreal. The moment I have this firm understanding, this Viveka, that Brahman alone is real, everything else is unreal. Now, next capacity that I must have is to give up desire for something that is unreal. To have that desire that I want to give them up. I don't want it. Why? Because it is not going to give me permanent happiness. See, we have been searching for happiness for such a long time. We have lived our life entirely for that. And we have understood that by going behind these pleasurable objects, I am not getting permanent happiness. Yes, I do get bits of joys. I do get that kick at some time, but it is not lasting. I have to gain something that is permanent. And that permanent thing is Brahman. That permanent thing is my own self. Everything else is impermanent. Ability to give up this impermanent is called as Vairagya. in some texts, this here the word jihasa is used. In another patha of the same text, it is called jugupsaya. Jugupsa is little stronger word. Jugupsa means revulsion. Gup nindayam, to hate. Means what? In some places it will be mentioned as kakavishtayam iva. Kakavishta is the dropping of the crow. When the crow is, something suddenly it drops, no? And then what you say, that feeling of that should be there in the pleasurable objects. That is called as vairagya, they say. Means what? I don't want. Why do we still run behind the objects? Because we still think that there is some content of joy in them. In Vedanta Shastra, this is called as Shobhana Adhyasa. Shobhana Adhyasa means we think that there is ability to give me joy in those objects. We say that they are good, they are nice, and therefore then we run behind it. The scriptures tell us to do exact opposite. Scriptures say that they are yuck. You should not even look back at them. That kind of strong feeling should be there. Okay? Careful. You see, dispassion or detachment is not giving up family. That I have got a lot of responsibilities and now vairagya is there. I am giving up all my responsibilities. That is not called as vairagya. Okay? Family, relatives, etc. are not to be given up. Objects are not to be given up. Hankering for that objects or for the pleasures coming from those objects, that is to be given up. Careful. Objects are not to be given up. Otherwise, it will be easier to see, a person who has got minimum objects is most dispassionate, and person with maximum objects is least dispassionate. But it is not like that. Why? Because objects are not problem. What is the problem? The problem is my attachment with those objects. Objects may be there, objects may not be there. I don't have any feeling of wanting those objects. That is called as vairagya. Okay? Vairagya is not running away from society. Vairagya is not hating the world. The world is, like that only. That is not called as vairagya. Vairagya is to understand that the world is impermanent and therefore I don't want it. Oh, okay, some objects are there. Okay, let them be there. They are giving me joy. Let them give me joy. Oh, tomorrow the objects are not there. Let them not be there. But then I will not get joy. Let them not give me joy. This kind of absolute freedom is called as vairagya. Sometimes, we have funny vairagya. Means we have a feeling that we have dispassion, but that is not actual. Means what? For some people, something that they cannot get, they say, I don't want it. You must have seen, very beautiful story in childhood that they used to tell was of the fox and the sour grapes. Remember? That there are grapes and the fox is trying to jump and eat the grapes, but he is not able to reach the grapes and therefore returns and says that the grapes are sour, are not tasty, are not sweet. Many times for us, vairagya is like that. In school, etc., we used to say, what is the point in coming first in the class? What happens by coming first? Who can say this? One who has come first in the class can say this. You can never do that even if you try, and therefore you say, I have left it, Swamiji. I have left. That pursuit is useless pursuit. My dear, the pursuit is not useless. You are not able to do it and therefore you have left it. What is that? Please understand that is not called as vairagya. Vairagya is not to give up what you cannot achieve. That is not vairagya. Sometimes, sometimes we have vairagya for some time. It is called as smashana vairagya. Very interesting word. Smashan means the cremation ground is called as smashan. So means what? When a person goes to cremation ground for somebody's cremation, some body's cremation, and you come back and is very much dispassionate towards everything, that what is life. There is no point in accumulating things, because one day you will have to go, and you khali hath aaye the, hum khali hath jayenge. You came empty handed, you are going to go empty handed. Suddenly a person becomes philosophical, starts to give big discourses, but remember that stays only for few hours. After that, back to the world, back to enjoying and accumulating the entire thing. This Mashana Vairagya is not real Vairagya. Sometimes, we eat so much that indigestion happens, and then the stomach is so full and you cannot even, and suddenly at that time you get Vairagya. What? I don't want to eat food. That is for few hours. It is going to stay. That is because now you have eaten so much that you cannot eat anymore, and therefore a revulsion comes towards it. That is Smashana Vairagya. That is not real Vairagya. That is not real detachment or dispassion. Real dispassion is what? Understanding that the world is impermanent and therefore saying that I don't want it. That is called as dispassion. I may think right now that some object is giving me joy, but remember, the very same object which gives me joy later on gives me sorrow also. Isn't it? New car, joy. The same car, when you have to fill petrol and when it is gone somewhere and then the tire is punctured or somewhere in the middle of the road it breaks down, then what? The same car becomes sorrow giving. Think about it. New phone, nice food, every single thing that we think gives us joy, the same thing also gives us sorrow. Therefore, actually, what is the point? The point is that the objects are sorrow giving. They are impermanent. Even if I say that they are not sorrow giving, they give me joy, but they give me joy only momentary. Momentary joy is what they give. It doesn't last. So actually there is no joy in the objects, and therefore ability to give them up is what is called as Vairagya. Now, as we saw, this Vairagya arises from Viveka. When I am able to distinguish clearly what is real and what is unreal, what is permanent and what is impermanent, then only I can give up what is impermanent, isn't it? The hankering over the impermanent things. But also, Vairagya strengthens Viveka. When Viveka is there, Vairagya is easier, and Vairagya, when it is there, it strengthens Viveka. Why? Because you have given up what is impermanent, so Viveka is stronger. Yes, indeed, it is impermanent. That's how cyclic relation it has got between Viveka and Vairagya. Right? So that is what is called as dispassion. Vairagyameva abhayam. It is said Vairagya, dispassion is fearlessness. Think about it. Fear is of what? Fear of death. Means what? Attachment towards body is what causes fear of death. Fear of public speaking. Attachment to your image is what causes public speaking fear. What will people say? I have got fear of height. Fear of height is not there. Fear of falling down is there and dying, which is again arising out of attachment towards body. Every single fear is born out of attachment. And therefore, Vairagya, dispassion, is fearlessness. Vairagyameva abhayam. This topic of Vairagya will come again later on in Vivekachudamani, where Shankaracharya will say, Vairagya na param sukhasya janakam pashyami vashyatmana. We will see at that time. He will glorify Vairagya. He will show the importance of it. But this is called as dispassion. Now, important question. How to develop this Viveka and Vairagya? That you didn't tell. See, Viveka is developed when we are in good company. Good company means what? People texts, books which make me think about the reality, unreality of the world, about the permanence and impermanence of the world. That triggers Viveka. And Vairagya, how to develop Vairagya? You have to practice it. Practice what? Practice this feeling that what I am understanding to be impermanent, I should give it. Sometimes in scriptures they also speak of dosha drishti. Dosha drishti means fault finding vision. This fault finding vision is not to find faults in the world, okay? That's not the point. The point is what? In your own enjoyments, you find faults. The objects that give you joy, you start finding faults in them so that you stop hankering for those pleasures. For example, suppose I say coffee is my weakness, suppose. And therefore, to have Vairagya means what? Not to hanker for coffee. If that is what is stopping me, then what I should do? I should list down all the faults in coffee. Not in coffee actually, in me hankering for that coffee. I will list down all the faults. No, but Veggie, there are no faults. It is so good. Now, if you keep saying it is so good, you will never be able to give it up. The coffee may be good, but you are hankering for it is not good. See how habits are formed. We suddenly start to think that without that coffee in the morning, we will not be able to work. Isn't it? Now, that is bad. The coffee may be good, but finally to have such kind of feeling, suppose tomorrow you are in a place where you cannot have coffee, then what? No. Then you feel also, no, I am not able to think properly because I didn't have coffee. So your thinking capacity is dependent on coffee. There was a time when you were not drinking coffee. How were you thinking at that time? There are so many people in the world who don't have coffee, but they are thinking. It is called dosha drishti. You list down all the things. Suppose you come to know that I am watching TV too much. I am watching YouTube videos, Facebook, Instagram, etc. too much. If I want to have dispassion towards that, list down all the faults with it. That the time just passes away. I don't even realize I am wasting so much of time. And it is all utterly nonsense anyways. It's not something that will give any knowledge to me or will turn, make me turn inwards, etc. Nothing like that is happening. I am just passing my time, wasting my time away, spoiling my time away. So you list down all those faults. And then what? Next time you feel that you want to drink coffee or you want to watch TV, take out this list and read. This is what it does. Then what will happen? Slowly, I will not have that insatiable hunger for those enjoyments. This is how to develop Vairagya. That's what Shankaracharya says in the next verse where he is defining Shama, but before defining Shama he is telling this.